In the next few minutes, you could lose all fear of heart disease and stroke, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and arthritis. There's a very simple first step to defeating all of these killers and more. Stop listening to the lies of mainstream medicine. Hello, I'm Jenny Thompson, the director of the Health Sciences Institute. I'm also a cancer survivor, and I need to tell you, they're lying to you. Your doctors, the drug companies, your HMO, they're all perpetuating dangerous medical myths and for all the wrong reasons. Sometimes it's to cut costs, sometimes it's to sell more drugs, and sometimes it's just because they don't know any better. In fact, in the next 22 minutes, 100 people just like you across America will have died from the 7 most dangerous lies the medical establishment tells to patients every day. They aren't just little white lies either. They involve big league killers like cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and more. You may have even already been told one or more of these killer lies yourself. But even if you have, there's no reason you have to succumb to it. Please keep watching, and I'll expose these 7 deadly lies of mainstream medicine. Thanks to the research of the Health Sciences Institute, or HSI. HSI is the one health organization that can save you from the fate so many of your misled neighbors have fallen to because of these lies. So let's get started with the first deadly lie. Lie number 1. Chemo and radiation are your best hope. Imagine your doctor saying, "Your tests are showing that the cancer has metastasized to your lymph nodes. I'm going to have to start you on chemo and radiation this week." I desperately hope you never hear these words. But even if you were to discover tomorrow morning that you already have cancer, you could still get well simply and naturally without drugs, radiation, or chemotherapy. HSI has reports of success from our members all over the world. There are literally dozens of methods of knocking cancer out of your system. The problem is that your doctor doesn't know about them. He's hopelessly stuck with the outdated cancer treatments that he learned in medical school, many of which are now proven not to work. But only a small sliver of the medical community knows the real cures. You are now about to discover what may be the most remarkable cure of them all. Back in 2002, HSI first reported on a new therapy that showed promise, a non-sugar component of a glycoside group called AGS. Since then, we've heard about astonishing successes. People who should have been dead, but as much as 5 years later were still alive and kicking. And people continue to drop their jaws in disbelief at how fast it works. It kills cancer cells in 1 day. Researchers have used AGS on deadly melanoma tumors, and cancer cell death comes at high speed. Reported results have been in as little as 24 hours. Imagine, if you were diagnosed with cancer next Tuesday, wouldn't it be terrific to find out on Wednesday that it's definitely going away? So how does it work? AGS shuts down tumors without dissolving them chemically. One of the hottest fields in cancer research is the tactic of starving tumors to death by shutting off their blood supply. A gentle solution that beats chemotherapy by a country mile. Researchers used AGS on cancer cells that often spread to patients' lungs. And once it's there, it usually goes everywhere. And incredibly, it shrank the tumors and stopped the disease in its tracks. And it even beats the new super cancers. Here's the dirty little secret of chemo. It's rapidly creating new kinds of cancer that don't respond to conventional treatment at all. Just as germs become resistant to antibiotics, these new cancers are multiple drug resistant. Near frantic authorities are predicting 7 million people worldwide will soon die of cancer. Imagine the countless cancer deaths the mainstream will be completely helpless to prevent. But insiders at a biotech firm investigating AGS recently leaked the incredible news that AGS has also been found to be effective in drug-resistant cancers. If the medical establishment would only wise up and get behind AGS, they could save 7 times more lives than have been lost in all the wars in U.S. history combined. And that's just for starters, because AGS has 0 side effects. You've seen women lose every strand of their beautiful hair. That's because chemo and radiation attack growing cells, hair follicles being the first target. You've seen patients choose to die rather than continue to face the terror of nauseating treatments. But all this could be over with. Tests of AGS have concluded that it is non-toxic and carries with it no adverse effects. If you're quick on the trigger, you've spotted the meaning of this. AGS is so gentle that you can start taking it regularly as a preventive to help keep yourself cancer-free forever. A prominent biotech firm, I can't mention the name, is pulling out all the stops to develop a drug based on AGS. But first, they have to take AGS apart molecule by molecule and then reconstruct the main ingredients artificially so they can patent it. After that comes the maddening slow approval process. In a decade, it might be in your pharmacy. But you don't have to wait. Not another day. Keep watching and I'll tell you how you can get AGS. And at a fraction of the cost you'll pay for the drug version, once it's even available. I'll even tell you about more cancer cures just like this one. But first, let me expose lie number 2. Lie number 2, your heart is a ticking time bomb. Too many of us have heard it from our doctor. You can't just walk out of here. Why, you're a ticking time bomb. You could have a heart attack before you even reach your car. I'm scheduling you for a bypass operation first thing in the morning. That's the famous time bomb speech that has been used so successfully on thousands of people, few of whom actually needed any kind of operation. Of course, some doctors aren't this aggressive. They give you a kinder, gentler version of the speech. You could go at any time if you're not careful, but we can manage your condition pretty easily with medication. I'm putting you on a daily dose of... Of course, managing your condition isn't even remotely like curing it. If you knuckle under to this advice, you'll be taking Lipitor, Coumadin, Mevacor, Zocor, Lescol, Crestor, Advocor, aspirin, or various prostaglandins for the rest of your life. But the speech doesn't mention that, does it? In just a minute, I'll show you a dozen ways of actually curing your problem with cholesterol or high blood pressure. The fastest, cheapest, and most powerful is what I call the 44-cent preventive for dropping dead. Most of the medical profession is in distress about cardiovascular disease because they have no good solutions for it. That's why over the next 20 to 30 years, hundreds of people you've met will die of myocardial infarctions, strokes, and so forth. The victims have something in common. They all believe anything they hear from someone in a white lab coat. You, however, do not have to be one of these people. Just follow through on the simple information that follows, and your blood vessels could stay open and flowing like the Nile. Best of all, you'll do this without drugs or their dreaded side effects. The solution to blood clots is a food, an inexpensive Asian food. It's also available in pill form. If you can afford 44 cents a day, you've just added a lot of healthy years to your life. A researcher at the University of Chicago's medical school has discovered that an extremely inexpensive natural food is more effective at healing and preventing heart disease and strokes than the best medical treatments costing $20,000 per dose. Dr. Hiroyuki Sumi found that a traditional Japanese dish made from fermented soybeans dissolves blood clots with unmatched speed. He identified an enzyme in the cheese-like food that helps prevent heart attacks, strokes, and angina, plus plain old-fashioned senility, without any of the horrid side effects of drugs. After all, if a clot goes to your brain, you have a stroke. If it goes to your heart, you have a heart attack. To his great surprise, Dr. Sumi found that when he put 1 drop of this food onto a blood clot in his lab, it dissolved the entire clot in only 18 hours. But this incredible edible is not just a laboratory wonder. It works wonders in the real world. Researchers began with animal studies. In a single blind study on male dogs with blood clots, a single serving dissolved the clots completely in 5 hours. After 18 hours, the clots in the dogs that got a placebo were as big as ever. They tried rats next, because rats' bodies closely mimic our own body's reactions. The soy derivative bested plasmin, the natural clot-fighting substance you have in your own arteries, by 4 times over. In human studies, it was again a success. It cut in half the time required for the subject's bodies to dissolve clots. Instead of side effects like drugs, this all-natural cure typically furnishes a bouquet of side benefits. It stimulates your body to produce more of its own clot-dissolving plasmin. In contrast, most drugs weaken your body's ability to fight its own battles. It lowers blood pressure. In human tests, blood pressure fell 10% in 4 days. It may even ward off osteoporosis and senility. And it works strongly to prevent heart attacks and strokes with just one small 100 milligram capsule per day. Better yet, it has a 100% safety record. Unlike the commonly prescribed drug Coumadin, it won't make your blood too thin, no matter how much of it you eat. This isn't a novelty or a lightweight remedy. In fact, one noted naturopathic doctor believes this product could completely change the way we treat cardiovascular disease. He's seen amazing success stories with patients who tried everything else, even bypassed surgery. They came to him as a last resort and walked away feeling better than they had in years. Eating this cure-all is nothing like taking a drug. If you have a taste for Asian food, you'll enjoy it. Try it with hot mustard. A dried variety is even served now by Japan Airlines with in-flight meals and as a snack with beer. Saving your life was never so simple. And getting this clot-busting miracle is easier still. I'll tell you all the details in just a minute, right after I smash conventional medical thinking with the next lie. Lie number 3, it's just a normal part of aging. Picture this. Your doctor sits you down and breaks the bad news. There's nothing you can do about your insert mainstream baffling medical problem here. You're just going to have to learn to live with it. The best weapon for fighting this kind of medical incompetence is your coat. When you hear such nonsense, grab it and run. Instead, I'd like to tell you about the 160-year-old rat, the 400-year-old caterpillar, and your 130th birthday party. Yes, modern science can actually make certain species live to these ages, at least in animal years, while remaining in great health. In fact, scientists have gotten a few roundworms past the 500-year mark, regular Methuselahs. No one, of course, wants to live an extra 40 years in a wheelchair, wheezing and unable to add 2 + 2. But that's not what they're finding in experiments on animals. We're finding we can extend middle age, not old age. We're making it possible to keep playing golf and tennis and not just to keep driving ourselves to the proctologist's office. I'll tell you how right now. There is wide and growing agreement among both conventional and alternative doctors that one hormone is the golden key. The magic mechanism that runs your biological clock and drives all your body systems, like nitromethane propels a top fuel dragster. Can you guess what it is? It's not melatonin. Now don't get me wrong. Take melatonin, you live longer. It's that simple, and many studies have proven it. Yet melatonin is not the master key. It's not DHEA. By volume, DHEA is the main hormone in your body. Yet by age 80, you'll have just 5% of the amount you had at 20. That's not enough. What do people with cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, and Alzheimer's all have in common? Low levels of DHEA in their blood. And still, DHEA is far less of a variable in your longevity than the key hormone I'm about to tell you about. And it's not testosterone, thymosin, pregnenolone, or other helpful hormones. They all take a back seat to HGH. In case you're new to natural medicine, that's human growth hormone, and it's a blockbuster. For power and sheer longevity, nothing even comes close. In the classic 1990 study reported in the New England Journal of Medicine, Daniel Rudman, MD, gave HGH to 21 men between 61 and 81 years old. The average man gained 8.8% in lean muscle without any extra exercise and lost 14.4% in fat. In addition, they had new interest in sex, and with better performance, thicker skin, and lots of other differences.